I want to ask you first of all, Kinsey, because this is your area of interest. Harry and Meghan, they announced this week, or through friends and all that, that only they could do this. We'd like to say we've got nothing to say. So they're saying that they've had enough of talking. They're not going to make any more documentaries. They're not going to write any more books. They're going to become hermit-like and disappear from view. I don't believe them, do you?
So I definitely don't believe them. I mean, it's a factually incorrect declaration when Prince Harry himself told the Telegraph, actually, that he had held back on Spare to protect his father and his brother. So we do know that there is more left to say, because that was instantly, you know, felt like a threat for royal watchers, that he could at any moment in time unleash something that could hurt the king or the Prince of Wales. But I do wonder if this was a strategy to kind of soften people's hearts towards Harry and Meghan, because he is supposed to release this summer Heart of Evictus on Netflix. That is pending. We haven't seen any sign of it, to the point where royal watchers are already declaring that it's been canceled and tossed. But I suspect that there may have been a slight delay, because Harry and Meghan are notoriously challenging to work with. And I wonder if they're trying to start this new tone, like, please like us. We promise we're not going to do anything else wrong. We promise we're not going to say anything else mean, because they need for Heart of Evictus to be successful, because there's no proof of return on investment on Harry and Meghan content that isn't slamming the royal family. And going forward, they would like to produce rom-coms or whatever it is they're trying to do, but they need that proof of return on investment. They need people to like Heart of Evictus.
Yeah, indeed, and there's some suggestion that, they say, oh, we're not going to make any more Netflix documentaries. Well, there's some suggestion that maybe Netflix don't want them to make any more documentaries, and maybe publishers don't want them to write any more books. So they're sort of, it's been imposed on them, but they're saying, oh, no, it's our decision. I mean, they've got a point when they say, there doesn't seem to be anything else for us to say. We're all going, I mean, you're right, there isn't anything else for you to say. So, well,
Meghan's almost been out of the royal family longer than she was in the royal family, so they are absolutely running out of content. I do think that Netflix is in flux right now. I just got kicked out of my family account. I'm pretty bitter over it.
Got to get your own, yeah.
I know, that's what they're going for. There was just a huge share vote, and the shareholders refused to give executives huge raises. I think that we know that they killed Pearl, Meghan Markle's animated show that was based on her, and who as a child, and what women she admired growing up. So I do think that there was so much focus on streaming thanks to the pandemic. There was a lot of money flowing. I don't know if you saw that the woman from Black Lives Matter, they killed her Warner Brothers deal. She received, hundreds of thousands of dollars to create content for Warner Brothers that never came to fruition. So I do think that they threw money at people that had not proven that they were capable of creating content. And Harry and Meghan, I think, are involved in that too. Harry and Meghan even pushed back on the one Netflix documentary that was made. Meghan was not so keen on it in her Variety interview. So I do think that there is speculation that they're not capable of executing.
Yeah, and also, Kinsey, I think they're very worried, or would you agree that it's because they're worried about how far their popularity has fallen? I mean, obviously this side of the Atlantic, people really don't like them, but they used to be quite liked in America, but we know from polls over there that their popularity rating has plummeted. So are they considering, well, the best thing for us to do is to keep our heads down, and we'll leave people's consciousness, and then they won't dislike us anymore, something like that?
And that's the best advice anybody in PR could give them. Go away for a little while. Go away, because, you know, I think with the car chase incident, they really were disappointed to see how much people loathed them.
Yeah.
More people wanted to not believe them than believe them. More people came out criticizing them than came out to support them. Yeah, and the one person that came out to publicly support them, Gayle King, has an ulterior motive. She's got a new CNN show launching with Charles Barkley called King Charles, and wants Meghan Markle as one of her first guests. So I do think that there is, you know, what I've heard here is that Harry is very frustrated by the negative attention on them. You know, he hates this immigration case coming up, the courtroom battle between the Heritage Foundation and Customs trying to determine whether or not Harry lied on his visa application. Like, he hates this negative attention. But it's like you said, a lot of it's been brought on themselves.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, Kinsey. Where are we standing with that? I mean, people sort of go, oh, he'll be all right. But actually, it's quite serious, isn't it? I mean, the Heritage Foundation are getting a judicial review with a view to publishing his visa application. Now, if on that visa application he says no to taking drugs, then he's lied. And the Heritage Foundation, they're American conservatives, and they don't like the idea of some foreign royal drug taker living in America.
Well, here's the thing. I think he's been very irresponsible in the way that he's spoken about drug use, almost encouraging it in some interviews that he's done over the last year. But from what I've heard, there could potentially be more embarrassment on the side of the American government for not asking him those questions. You know, did they go, oh, this is the prince, this is Joe Biden's friend, and this is Meghan Markle, an American's husband. We're not going to put him through the same scrutiny that we would put other people. I think that that is really what people are prepared to see. We don't even think he was quizzed on whether or not he is a drug user or what his history with drugs is. We think he was given special treatment because he was a prince, and that is more embarrassing to the American government than it is to Prince Harry. And that, again, that's not going to get him deported. I think we need to be realistic. I don't think Prince Harry's going anywhere. I know people don't like him, and they would like him to, but I don't think that that's what the outcome is going to be.
But Americans don't like the idea of a British royal prince getting special treatment, because we don't know what he put on his visa application, but if I said, oh, I'd like to live in America, and by the way, I'm really keen on doing lots of coke and smoking dope, and I love a hallucinogenic as well, I'm not getting a visa. So Biden's staying really quiet about this, isn't he?
Oh, of course, because they're buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that I don't think that he's going to be deported. I don't, you know, he's been so comfortable and free talking about drug use in interviews in his book. I don't think he'd lie on his application either.
Well, you can have him, because we don't want him back.
I'm sending him.
Talking of Joe Biden, let's have a look at Joe's latest pratfall. He was in Colorado Springs visiting an air academy, I think. Take it away, Joe. Kinsey, when you look at that, your first reaction is, of course, you laugh, you giggle like school kids. It is funny. How many times has he done it now, though? As I said to Greg Swenson yesterday, I said fairly soon, it's only going to be a story if Joe Biden manages to stay vertical throughout an entire public appearance, because falling over is what he does every single time. Now, we're looking at this. I mean, it's funny, but it's a poor old guy who can't stay vertical anymore. He keeps falling over time and time again. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating to him. And I cannot believe that Americans might be preparing to vote this geriatric old tumbler back into the White House. It doesn't bear thinking about, does it?
Well, I do believe that this last instance really made the Democrats concerned about that. You know, should we really be looking for somebody else to put in his place? Because it's, you know, I think we both have weak leaders. I mean, I miss Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, and I don't even think I was born yet. But I think we both have weak leaders. And I think that the world is looking at us differently, but certainly my president is a much weaker man. And, you know, it's rare that we see Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump agree publicly on anything, but both of them showed sincere concern for him after he fell this last time and said, wow, I hope he's okay. And that's not like them, honestly. They, you know, DeSantis, I do think, made a quick joke about it, but you are starting to see people go, you know, wow, this is getting really scary.
It is. That's the point, isn't it? And I think it's an issue of kindness. Somehow or other, the Democrats have got to persuade that old guy that he can't do another term. I mean, if nothing else, go on.
He's not going to ever agree to that, because I feel like I sound like our friend Greg. His family is so entrenched in, you know, businesses that they shouldn't have been. You know, Hunter Biden is protected while his dad is president. Hunter Biden, I truly don't believe he's a good individual, and I think he's been protected while his dad is president. And I don't think that Joe Biden wants to give up that power.
Yeah, well, that's as maybe, but you know, this is I mean, he is incredibly, I mean, the most powerful man on the face of the planet, and he wants to do it again. Now, if nothing else, this constant falling over, you know, of a geriatric guy who's obviously lost a lot of his cognitive abilities as well. Don't forget, he keeps saying the wrong things as well.
Always.
If nothing else, I mean, whoever stands against him, be it Trump or DeSantis, I mean, they're going to walk it, aren't they? Because they just say, look, vote for me, I won't fall over every time I turn up anywhere. I mean, do you see what I mean? I mean, the Democrats surely can see there's a problem putting this old guy up, this octogenarian, as their candidate.
Yeah, but I also think that the media has gone out of their way to protect Biden as well here. I mean, there's a great interview with Trump where he says, you know, the guy walks out of a restaurant holding an ice cream, and the media's first question is, what did you order? I mean, they do. They act like they're talking to a baby, and, you know, they pander. And I think that it's going to take the whole country to go, we deserve better. We're not in a good place. And I do think we're getting there, but I don't know if we're there yet. But everybody needs to push back.
Fascinating times, Kinsey. Great to talk to you as always, and we'll do it again next week. That's the brilliant Kinsey Schofield, Queen of America, royal expert as well as an excellent West Coast correspondent there.